You just want to enjoy the Abuja dream. You want to go for summer without doing anything. There's already a resistance in the atmosphere. There's already a force that is saying, yeah, this is how I want it to be. So at times, peace, that you're happy with yourself and you're not troubling anybody, nobody is troubling you, is a manifestation of the Antichrist. Because that is not the peace of God. That peace, you understand it. The peace of God passes understanding. So when you begin to tell yourself that I'm doing fine. So when you begin to tell yourself that I'm doing fine, that is when you should ask yourself that, is this not the Antichrist? Because I'm doing fine, not based on the purposes of God and programs of God for your life. That is not how to do fine. So when people begin to say, I'm doing fine, he's doing well, Abraham was doing fine. Let's begin from there because I need to quickly move because of time. I'm a man under authority. I'll be subject to the timing of the house. Thank God we have 3 days. What people don't understand about the story of Abraham was that he was not a poor man. He was already doing fine. But you see, God, as far as God is concerned, once you are not on the faith lane, you are not doing fine. So Abraham was not begging God that I need to eat. As a matter of fact, the faith flow took everything away from him. So that means there are certain things now you call riches or wealth or doing fine, that if it's subject to the beam of faith is nothing. It's just superfluity of nothingness. So what God does to people is that he looks at them, and it's like potentially these people carry the seed of Christ. So in every generation, whenever God sees that the seed of Christ is in you, that means if he should inaugurate a faith project for you, 42 generations down the line, Christ will come through your lineage. He will begin to pay attention to you, and he will begin to look at you to get your attention off what you call riches and success, to inaugurate a faith project that will be diametrically opposed to your understanding now, so that that Christ in you can be deployed. Abraham was just minding his business, doing business and doing fine. And one day God appeared. It's called the God of glory, and he said, get out of your father's house, out of your country, onto a land that I will show you. So that means the way God plugs into this civilization that is called Christ is always a get out word. The launching pad of faith is that God will get you out of something. And usually he will get you out of the known to the unknown. Because see, the known is what people celebrate. The unknown is where God is. And why is it that a lot of people, now listen to this, don't get too excited. Why is it that a lot of people, you see, when we're in school, I'm sure Pison can pay attention to this too. Some people are doing fine in God. Suddenly they go to Abuja. Somehow, some things just happened to them, and they don't go to church again. You know why? At the point God is trying to introduce them to the faith flow, it didn't make sense again. So because it doesn't add up, and they've tried, they looked at it. Meanwhile, it is when it doesn't add up and you are looking at it, that is when God is trying to get your attention. Because if the bush is burning and is consumed, the attention of Moses will not be gotten. But the fact that something is happening and you can't put it together, and at times for some people it starts with rent. You just find it difficult to pay rent. And the Lord is saying, that is it. Your attention now. Now this is the time to begin a faith flow. For Abraham, everybody around him, once they marry, 9 months they have children. And somehow he was biologically fit. I mean, how do you know he was biologically fit? I mean, just give him Agar. One night stand. Ishmael came out. So when God is stopping you from the normal flow, it's not that there's something wrong with you. And that is when you begin to discern that a faith walk is inevitable. That means everybody will be getting it, piecemeal. But for you, the story will be different. And if you don't know it's an invitation to the faith flow, the next outlook is to succumb to the principle of the Antichrist and to go on Facebook and start abusing all the men of God because of unmet expectation. So it can also bat resentment. It can also bat apostle that you are trying to like, what is going on here? And things are not adding up. All your friends that left school about the same time with you, maybe they're in their third job now, they built their houses. You are still the only one living in a rented apartment. You see, you can come to church and say, all these pastors, this thing is not making sense again. But meanwhile, like Gideon, God is telling you, when you are saying, where's the God of our fathers? The Lord is saying, this is the man. That if you can keep this thing away from the Midianite with questions in your heart, it's an invitation into the faith flow. So that means what the Lord is now telling Abraham is that the child I want you to have, you can't have that child biologically. Because at the level of what I want to do with your life, biology cannot add up. So that means I must subject your biological tendencies to a faith flow. That is the only way you can bat an Isaac. Because if I don't subject it to the faith flow, your genealogy is already Ishmael. And that's exactly what God is saying to everybody. And people find it difficult to understand. Because all that the Lord is saying is that, look, potentially, the best you can do is Ishmael. But to have an Isaac, there must be a faith project. I must inaugurate the faith flow. And you must stay on the faith lane. Even if you don't like what I'm doing, stay there. Because outside of this faith lane, there will be no purple place today. Even if we share the grace here, I think we already have the word. Because all you need to do tonight as you are seated there is that do your SWOT analysis. What are your strengths? Your weaknesses? Your opportunities and your threats. Because if you don't project your strengths and your opportunities on the faith lane, your weaknesses and threats will swallow you. Did you hear what Pastor Sunday said? The threat was there that only he would never start. It was a threat. So God had to take him on a faith journey. Because outside of the faith journey, you don't even know your strength. So you are weak. Rich but weak. Let anything happen to that wealth. That's when you know you are weak. So God began to tell Abraham that this is a narrative. And because you are the template, every man of faith will have to follow the same story. That means at some point, the same way biology will fail you, economics will fail them. Physics will fail them. Mathematics will fail them. That means some things are working for some other people. You just look at yourself within the socio-economic space and you are like, what is the issue? Abraham tried. Because at the level of God, it wasn't just about Abraham, it was about Christ. So at the level of God, it's not just about you making it in Abuja. It's about a civilization that is called Christ, that God must plug into. And so that you know the difference between Isaac and Ishmael, the time came. God looked at Abraham. It was time for Moriah. And that season will come in your life too. God said, Abraham, I said, yes. I said, take your son. Your only son. I mean, you want to raise your hand and say, God, you are missing a point. How can you say your only son? The man has two sons. But God is saying a son that is not born of faith is not recognized by me. So at the end of it all, any success, anything you do that is not rooted in the work of faith, God doesn't see it. You see, other people will be celebrating Ishmael. But God is saying you have only one son, your only son. And in case you don't know who that only son is, God mentioned the name Isaac. So Ishmael can be blessed, but God said, with Isaac I will establish my covenant. The covenant is the exclusive right to connect with the genealogy of Jesus Christ. That means at the end of it all, the story God is telling you with our lives, at the end of it all, in the final analysis, he must bat Christ. Christ is the name of the civilization, or else the Antichrist will take over. For example, what I really want to talk about tonight is to believe God. With somebody here tonight, for God to give us enterprise solutions and technology on the faith lane, to be able to maximize the opportunities is given to us in the scheme of things, especially when it comes to